Welcome back, YouTube. Sensei Domino here. Welcome to the Spine Ticks After Party. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter video than I normally do. We had an ice storm hit Texas this week, and it really slowed things down. I didn't receive any mail on Tuesday or Wednesday. I did receive mail on Thursday, but the mailman's truck got stuck in front of my house. Couldn't move because of the ice, and so I didn't receive any mail on Friday either. But I did receive some mail today, so I've got a little bit to share with you, but it's probably not going to be very long of a video. And I have a set that I received that I probably wouldn't have given as much attention to if I had better stuff to show. But unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I ordered did not come in. So apologize for the short video, but hopefully you find some of this interesting. Let me go ahead and get started. I did receive a friend mail on Monday that I'm really excited about. And this came from Brian Basketballs. He did a contest on his channel where he was giving away some of the North Carolina cards that if you watch his channel you've seen before. And he kept opening packs until he found a Michael Jordan for me. And I thought that was really generous of him to do that. And he included some extras that were just incredibly generous. So and let me put these off to the side. Share the note with you. Thank you, Tony. You're the best. Take care. Got the Brian Basketballs ink right there. Love it. Thank you, Brian. Your generosity is absolutely amazing. This absolutely blew me away. So got this little team bag full of cool North Carolina cards. So let me share these with you. So we'll start with this really cool Michael Jordan. Just love that photo. Look at that. Looks like they got a, what is that, Matt Doherty right here. There's the back. These are really cool cards. If you haven't seen this set, it's just loaded with fantastic players. Let me see. All alumni of North Carolina. Let me see if I can see how many Michael Jordans we can find on this. So there's a Michael Jordan right there. There's probably 4 or 5 Jordans in this set. There's another one, number 44. See, why couldn't they have made him number 23? You know. Let's see. Can we see any others? There's another one, number 61. Number 89, number 93. So is that 5 Michael Jordans in the set? So yeah, he sent 2 of them. So there's a really helpful checklist right there. Got a Laker legend right here, Hall of Famer James Worthy. Very cool. There's the back. I like this one. Carmichael Auditorium. Wonder if it says what year this photo was taken. Served as Carolina's basketball team's home from 65 through 86. Doesn't say what year this was, but obviously sometime between 65 and, what did they say, 86? 65 and 86, so very cool. Got the legend, Dean Smith. Don't think I have any Dean Smith cards, so this was cool to get. And if you watch TNT, or if you were a fan of the Rockets in the 90s, you know this guy, Kenny the Jet Smith. We got 3 of his cards. I don't know how many he's got in the set. Maybe 5 like Jordan. I'm not sure. There's all of his stats. Pretty good college player. Certainly was a nice NBA player. He's really good on TNT. I enjoy him. Got a lot of great insight. last one. Oh, look at this. This is another checklist. See if there's more Michael Jordan on here. No, I don't see any. Not yet, anyway. No, it doesn't look like it. So I guess Jordan only has 5 in the set. And there's the last Michael Jordan. Love this shot. It looks like he's playing against LSU. He was a 6'1" sophomore. But he ended up being 6'6". That tells you how much he grew when he was a sophomore. Very cool. So that's what I won in the contest. I actually only won one Michael Jordan, but he decided to throw in a second one. So thank you so much for that, Brian. Let me keep these on the screen. Oh, sorry about that. All right. So Brian knows that Vince Carter is my favorite player in all sports, and Dirk Nowitzki's right next to him. He threw in several Vince Carter cards that came out either right at the end of when I was collecting or after I had taken a break from the hobby, I guess you can say. And I thought these were really cool and very nice of him to send these. So I believe this is 99 2000. Let me check. I think this might be 99 2000. This is a Fleer Metal. This is the Vince Carter scrapbook. Just a great looking card. There's the back. Looks like it was a whole Vince Carter little subset. I'll have to look into maybe picking up some more of these cards from this set. This is 2000-2001 Upper Deck. All these cards were early in his career when he was still with Toronto. You see Allen Houston hanging out in the back. Can't tell who that is. Might be Charlie Ward, maybe. Very cool. And what year is this? All right, this is a second year. This is 99 2000. Vince Carter Fleer Metal. I love the metal sets. They're just gorgeous. And just look at that. Going in for a jam. Looks like that's Alonzo Mourning. He's like, nope, you're not dunking on me today. It's going to walk away. Not even looking. Not even looking. That's the back. Card number 1 in the set. That just tells you how popular Vince Carter had become after his rookie season. He's card 1 in the set. All right, well, I'm going to move these out of the way because this next item is pretty big. So if you've watched Brian Basketball's channel, you've noticed that in his backdrop, he's got Vince Carter pictures. And he blew me away with this. He actually sent me one of them. Hopefully this was a duplicate. This is probably not going to fit on the screen. This was actually a bag. I didn't realize this was a bag. And Fleer genuine memorabilia. And move that out of the way. It's really cool Vince Carter bag. Gotta get it over my laptop here. What does it say? Vince Carter Toronto Raptors. It says, for exclusive autographs, game-worn cards, and memorabilia from Vince Carter, go to FleerSkybox.com. And got this really cool Vince Carter facsimile autograph that looks very close to his actual autograph because I do have a Vince Carter autograph in my collection. Absolutely love this. I've always loved it hanging out in the backdrop of his videos, and was just really happy to see this in the bag. Very, very generous of Brian to send this to me. So hopefully this was a duplicate, Brian. I'd hate that you sent me your backdrop, but I absolutely love it, and this will stay in my collection forever. Thank you, my friend. This was an incredibly generous rack that you sent to me, and I love everything, absolutely everything. So again, thank you so much. All right, let me move this out of the way. Now, I did get 2 TTMs back this week, which is kind of surprising, especially after how erratic the mail was this week. One was an email request, and the other was a request that I sent less than 2 weeks ago. My most recent batch of TTMs, and one of them already returned today, in fact. Let's go ahead and get started. Both of these are Hall of Famers. And the first one, they actually supplied a mailing address. And this is Mr. Roland Martin, who is a legendary bass fisherman. And this, like I said, this was an email request. And just sent an email, said I was a big fan, and asked for his autograph. And he sent me this really cool, what is this, maybe a 5x7? 5x7. To Tony, Bass Wishes, Roland Martin. And he's really one of the legends of fishing, along with, what's his name? Rob Van Dam is one of the newer guys. You got Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston, Roland Martin. He's got his own show. I think it's on NBCSN. If you haven't checked it out, it's worth watching. It's a pretty good show. So really happy to get this. I love that he inscribed it Bass Wishes. That's really cool. So thank you, Mr. Martin, for this really cool autograph. All right, the next one. This one is from a racing legend. I've received his autograph back before, but at the time I didn't have any of his cards, so I just sent a couple index cards. He was nice enough to sign those. This is the initials RP, and if you're familiar with racing, you probably already know who this is. He is a TTM legend, and it is Richard Petty, the King. And he sent it with this really fine, I guess a white paint pen maybe, but I think it looks great on this card. This is the Max 1991. There's the back. And from what I understand, he's only 2 per. I actually bought 4 of his cards, but only sent 2, and then maybe 6 months from now I'll send 2 more. But I wanted to get this Max 91 because I guess it's the oldest Richard Petty card that I picked up. And then I've always liked Diamond Kings, and especially the 87 design, because that's probably my second year of collecting if you don't count late 85. And the autograph's a little harder to see on this one, but you certainly signed it in the right place. And love this one. Race Kings. And that's the back. This is 2020 Panini Donruss Racing. So very happy to get those back. Thank you so much, Mr. Petty. Really appreciate that. Very happy to get his autograph on a couple cards. All right. So next, I picked up a set. This is primarily for TTMing, but I don't have a whole lot of golf cards in my collection. I watch golf occasionally. I find it enjoyable, certainly relaxing. And I saw this, and I kind of put it on my watch list. And it sat there for like a month, and nothing happened. And It actually had free shipping, and I was comfortable with the price, but only having one card of each player, I didn't feel like it was something that I had to buy right away, because if I do TTMs, I prefer to send more than one, kind of get the bang for my buck out of my postage. And then he sent me an offer, and the offer was too good to pass up, because essentially he was giving it to me, because the shipping cost would have cost what he charged me for the set, and it was free shipping. So I was like, you know what, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to go ahead and get it. And it is what year is this? I think it's 1990. Yeah, 1990 Pro Set PGA Tour inaugural set. It's got 75 PGA Tour cards, 25 Senior PGA Tour, and one collectible. And this has been opened. It's not sealed. I don't know if it had a wrap on it or anything. But I basically paid $5 for this. And me, doing a little bit of selling on eBay and stuff, I know that, essentially you could send like, 0.3 of an ounce, and it's going to cost you roughly $6.50. So I paid $5 for this. So it's almost like, he gave me like $6 to ship it, or gave me $1.50 to ship it, because I basically paid $5 for it. So no brainer buy. And the last card in this box has a giant crease in it, and it wouldn't surprise me if that was done at the factory. So if I were to call this a complete set, I would probably have to replace that card, but not that big of a deal, and I certainly got my money's worth, so I'm not complaining. But I guess this is the collectible. This is the cover card. Doesn't have a number or anything. So we've got the PGA Tour on the front, and then we've got the Senior PGA Tour on the back. And so I'm just going to go through the cards real quick. I don't have a whole lot to say about all the players. I mean, I know the majority of them. Well, not the majority of them, but probably half of them. And, if you're a golf fan, you'll know who they are. But I don't have a whole lot to say about each individual. But I do know Hale Irwin. And so, cool to get one of his cards. Guess I'll just put these right here. So next we got Tony Sills. I'm not familiar with Tony Sills, but these definitely have the look of a pro set sort of set. These look a lot like the football cards that came out in 1991, I guess. They would have been 1990, I guess. The 89 had a different design. 91 didn't look like this. So yeah, got the Tony Armour the third. Not familiar with him either. But I do like that they've decided to put like the gold coloring on the edges. Makes them look, pretty nice. This is a fantastic golfer, Tom Watson. I guess you could call him a legend. 12 tour victories. We have Tom Pertzer. This is another golfer I'm familiar with, Tom Kite. Now, I know this is the inaugural pro set golf set, but the only other golf set that I know of that came out before this is 81 Donruss. I was looking at a couple of those cards a couple months back when I was thinking about sending off to a couple golfers, and those are a lot more expensive than these. I'll just say that. But there's some great names in those in that set as well. I'd have to do a little bit more research and find out what came out between 81 and 90, but I don't think there was a mainstream product, and I'm pretty sure Donruss didn't make another set after 81. So I've heard of Kenny Perry. Very cool. Got Steve Pate. Not familiar with Steve Pate. We got Steve Jones. That's a cool shot. Looks like he's hitting it out of a bunker. There's another name I'm familiar with, Steve Elkington. I'll have to look and see which of these players actually TTM. I know golfers are, there's a lot of them that are really good TTMers. So I'll have to do a little bit of research into that. And then once I pinpoint some players, maybe try to pick up a couple more cards to send off. I mean, I guess I could send some index cards or something just to get these out. Scott Verplank, I remember hearing his name. Definitely remember Scott Simpson. 5 tour victories. Looks like he won the U.S. Open in 87. I think this is pronounced Scott Hoke, but I'm not really familiar with him. Next we got Russ Cochran. Now, I'm pretty sure that Pro Set put out sets in 91 and 92. I'm not sure about 93. So maybe I can look into picking up a couple of those. Try to save some money instead of buying singles. So we got Rocco Mediate. I remember hearing about him. We got Robert Gomez. Got Ray Floyd. Remember hearing about him. Yeah, look at that. 21 tour victories. Got the PGA Championship in 69, the Masters in 76, Players Championship in 81, Memorial in 82, PGA Championship in 82, U.S. Open 86. Yeah, so I think that would qualify him as a legend. Ray Floyd. Isn't his name Raymond Floyd? I think I've heard that more than Ray Floyd. So we got Peter Persons. Not familiar with Peter Persons. Again, that's a really cool shot out of the bunker. I know this guy, Peter Jacobson. That's a cool shot. Looks like the ball's still on the head of the golf club right there. Great time to take a shot. And this was cool to see in the set. I didn't realize this was in here. But Payne Stewart, he passed away the early 90s, if I remember right. And he was a popular player. I'm not sure if this is his rookie card. It might be, because Pro Set didn't make any cards, and I'm pretty sure he's not in the 81 set. So this might very well be a Payne Stewart rookie. Looks like he had 7 tour victories at this point. Won the Byron Nelson in 1990. Very cool. So happy to get that one. There's another name I'm familiar with, Paul Azinger. Was that 6 tour victories? Nolan Hinkey. I'm not familiar with Nolan Hinkey. Wonder if he's related to Tom Hinkey, the pretty good closer for Toronto, Texas. I'm not sure if he played for anybody else, but he was certainly a good closer in the 80s and 90s. Maybe they're related. Who knows? Definitely familiar with this guy. I'm pretty sure he's in the 81 set as well. So Nick Price, golf legend. At this point, he only had 1 tour victory. Wonder how many he ended up with. I know he played for a long time. Got Brian Tennyson. Not familiar with him. Looks like he might be new to the tour. First year on the tour, 87. So, all right. Next, we've got Morris Hatalski. Next, we've got Mike Reed. Not familiar with Hatalski or Reed. All right, next we've got Mike Hulbert. Very cool. Next, we got Mike Donald. Again, not familiar with this guy. Mark Weeby. Weeb. I don't know. Couple tour victories. Looks like he might be rocking a mullet. Gotta love that. Next, we got Marco Mira. Early in Tiger Woods' career, he had a little bit of a rivalry with Marco Mira. Looks like he had 6 tour victories up to this point. Really cool to get that. Next, we got Mark Calvecchia. I've heard of him. 5 tour victories. Next, we've got Mark Brooks. Not really familiar with this guy. And we got Lauren Roberts. Great action shot right there. Got Larry Mize. Laddie Watkins. Wow, he's got 19 tour victories, but I've never heard of him, so I might have to look this guy up. Looks like he was a pretty good player. 77 PGA Championship. Players in 79. 82 and 83 Tournament Championships. 85 Bob Hope. LA Open. Walt Disney World Oldsmobile Classic. Colonial. He's got quite a few notable tournament wins, so I'll have to look into this guy. He looks like he was a pretty good player. Have to get a little more familiar with Laddie Watkins. Next, we have Ken Green. 5 tour victories. Next, we've got Jim Hallett. And John Mahaffey. Not familiar with him either, but it looks like he's got 10 tour victories. including the 78 PGA Championship. Bob Hope. Another Bob Hope, Texas Open. Another Players in 86. So I might have to look up John Mahaffey and learn a little bit more about him. All right, so next we got John Houston. It's always great getting sets like this. You know, when you start doing a little bit of looking on the back of the cards, you can kind of pinpoint some players that are worth noting and go and research them, where otherwise you wouldn't know who they are. So I know there's at least 2 players that I'll be looking up now. Next we've got John Cook. Joey Sindelar. I think I might be saying that right. Love these bunker shots. They're great. 6 tour victories. BC Open, Honda Classic, Hardy's Golf Classic. Looks like he might have been a pretty good player. Got Jody Mudd. He won the Byron Nelson 89, the Players in 90. Looks like he was having a pretty nice couple years. Next we've got Jim Thorpe. Not the Jim Thorpe Hall of Famer, but the golf pro Jim Thorpe. 3 tour victories. Very cool. Next, we've got Jim Gallagher Jr. I remember hearing Jeff Sluman's name, but don't know a whole lot about him. Got Jay Delsing. Ian Baker Finch. I've heard of him. Got Wayne Grady. Not familiar with Wayne Grady. I know Hal Sutton. Yeah, 7 tour victories. PGA Championship, Players Championship in 83. Had a nice year in 83 for sure. Here's a guy that has been in the news lately with the LIV golf league that I guess he might be the head of, or the figurehead anyway, of Greg Norman. But he was certainly a good golfer. One of the better names in the set for sure. Next, we've got Gil Morgan. Looks like he was a pretty decent player as well. 7 tour victories. Got Gene Sowers. Not familiar with him. Youngest player on the PGA Tour in 1984 when he began. Know this guy, Fred Couples. Isn't he doing commentary these days? Certainly a nice name for the set. Won the Players in 84, Byron Nelson 87, LA Open 1990. Pretty sure he ended up with several more wins. Next we got Mark Lai. Not familiar with him. Well, it looks like we're halfway through this set anyway. Looks like we're closing out the regular PGA Tour cards because the last 25 are going to be the senior PGA with some of the biggest names in here. Got Kenny Knox, not really familiar with him. No, this guy, Davis Love III. Looks really young. PGA Tour 1985. Next we got David Peoples. Another great bunker shot. Love these bunker shots. It's just something about the dust of the dirt popping up. Makes the photo look a lot more interesting. Like this one right here, I'm not sure if he's checking out his shot or if he had already hit it. I'm not sure. Can't really tell. We got David Frost. I've heard of David Frost. Next we got Dan Forsman. It looks like this is going to be a fairly long video, so that makes me feel pretty good. Next we've got Curtis Strange. Definitely heard of Curtis Strange. I'm pretty sure he's a commentator. I remember seeing him recently. Won the 87 Canadian Open, 88 Memorial US Open, Nabisco Championship, won the 89 US Open, so certainly had some majors. Craig Stadler, I've heard of him. 8 tour victories. Joe Garagiola, know that name. Looks like he won the Masters in 82. World Series of Golf, Kemper Open, Byron Nelson in 84. Won some pretty nice tournaments. I know this guy, Corey Pavin. Very cool. It's a pretty nice photo. Next we got Chris Perry. Wonder if he's related to that Kenny Perry we saw early in the set. Maybe not. Next we've got Chip Beck. Not familiar with Chip Beck. Next we've got Bruce Lightsky. Not familiar with this guy, but looks like he was a pretty nice player with 11 tour victories. Won the Joe Garagiola 77-79, Colonial in 80, Bob Hope in 81. He won quite a few in 81, including the Byron Nelson. Canadian Open 82, Honda Classic, Byron Nelson 88. I'll have to look at this guy. Looks like he was a pretty good golfer. All right, next we got Wayne Levi. Haven't heard of this guy, but again, he looks like a pretty nice golfer. Tour victories. Canadian Open. Looks like he won quite a few in 1990. 1, 2, 3, won 4 victories in 1990. I know this guy, Bob Tway. Another great action shot. 6 tour victories. Won the Memorial in 89. Nice card. Got Bob Estes. Billy Ray Brown. Next, we've got Billy Mayfair. Other than the last card in the set, which has a really nice crease in it, these look like they're pretty nice and haven't been handled very much, so certainly happy with that. I do like this shot. Stand on the side of a hill. Never heard of Billy Mayfair. All right, next we've got Billy Andrade. Andrade. I don't know how you say that. Andrade, probably. Never heard of him. Next, we've got Bill Britton. Another guy I'm not familiar with. Next, we've got Ben Crenshaw. Definitely heard of him. 15 victories. Won the 84 Masters, 86 Buick Open. Won the Colonial in 90. And looks like we're winding down these PGA Tour cards. Got Andrew McGee. Never heard of him. And the last one we've got is Tim Simpson. I haven't heard of Tim Simpson. All right, so the last 25 cards, I guess, are the Senior PGA Tour, and they've got a little different border. This is a silver. And we've got Harold Henning. I'm not really familiar with Harold Henning. Next, we've got Frank Beard. Not really familiar with Frank Beard either. I'll probably have to look up all of these Senior PGA Tour guys. I would guess that they're all pretty good. Next, we got Miller Barber. Look at that. 24 Senior Tour victories. Never heard of him, but I'll definitely have to be looking this guy up. Mr. X is the Senior Tour's leader in career victories with 24. The only 3-time winner of the USGA Senior Open. Yeah, so this guy must be Senior PGA Tour legend, Miller Barber. I'll have to look him up for sure. All right, next we got Gary Player. Definitely heard of Gary Player. 15 Senior Tour victories. Very cool. Won the 1990 PGA Seniors Championship. Actually won the 86, 88, and 90 championships. So definitely heard of Gary Player. Here we go. Here's a legend. Arnold Palmer. Awesome. 10 Senior Tour victories. Very cool to get this. I knew it was in the set, but still very cool. All right, next we got Billy Casper. Not really familiar with Billy Casper, but looks like he was a pretty good player. Definitely heard of this guy, Lee Trevino. Another great card. 6 Senior Tour victories. Next, we've got Charles Cootie. Not familiar with Charles Cootie. Next, we've got Jim Dent. Not really familiar with Jim Dent either. Looks like he was a pretty nice player, though. 6 tour victories. Next, we got George Archer. Another guy I'm not really familiar with. He's got some tour victories, though. Definitely heard of this guy. Charismatic Chichi Rodriguez. 16 senior tour victories, including the 87 Seniors Championship. Very cool. Next, we got Mike Hill. Not really familiar with Mike Hill. Next, we got Bob Charles. Looks like he was a pretty good player. Definitely have to look this guy up. I'm going to butcher this. Is that Revis McBee? Revis McBee. Never heard of him. Got a couple tour victories, or 3 of them. All right, next we've got Dale Douglas. Next, we've got Gene Littler. Looks like he was a pretty good player. 8 tour victories. Haven't heard of him. Next, we've got Bruce Crampton. Looks like he was a really good player. 16 senior tour victories. We'll have to look him up for sure. Another legend right here, Jack Nicklaus. Now, I'm pretty sure he does TTMs, so happy to get this card for sure. And at the time, he had 2 senior tour victories. But I'm pretty sure he had just joined the Senior PGA Tour. Yeah, look at that. Senior PGA Tour 1990. So, pretty sure he ended up with quite a few more. Heard of this guy? Don January. 22 Senior Tour victories. Second all time in the Senior Tour. 22. Next, we got Al Gieberger. I butchered that. Never heard of him. 5 tour victories. Next, we got Dave Hill. Looks like he's got 6 senior tour victories. And next, we've got Orville Moody. Never heard of Orville Moody, but looks like he was a pretty good player. 9 tour victories. What's his nickname? Sarge. Sarge Moody. Definitely heard of this guy. Lee Elder. He's a legend. Got 8 senior tour victories. Very cool to get this. Heard of this guy, J.C. Sneed. Looks like he had just joined the tour. And this is the last card. This is Lou Graham, and you can see that crease I'm not sure if that came from the factory or if that was something that happened. Maybe this was in the box funny and the other cards kind of got pushed on it. I don't know. But yeah, I'll have to replace this card if I were to consider this a complete set. Because this card's pretty much trash. And never heard of Lou Graham. But maybe he was pretty good. I'm not sure. All right, so that's the 1990 Pro Set PGA Tour inaugural set. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing that. Like I said, if I had had other stuff to show, I probably wouldn't have spent too much time on that set. But just to extend the length of the video, it made sense to show that set in a little bit more detail. All right, so if you remember last week, I opened up some packs of this 1997 BBM Diamond Heroes. These are Japanese baseball cards. And so I've got three more packs. And let's go ahead and rip those open and see what we can get. We are looking for a Ichiro. And we got a Hideki Matsui in the last one. And if I remember right, after I had opened all the 4 packs that I opened last week, I looked up all the players, and I believe 6 of them were Hall of Famers. But there was a subset that we pulled several out of, which were Rising Stars, and we got 3 Rising Stars, and there are 12 Rising Stars cards available. And of those 3, I believe 2 of them were really good players, including one that ended up actually playing in the major leagues. I believe he played for the Brewers and the Texas Rangers. So hopefully we can get some nice cards out of these packs. I did find out that there is a manager card of Shigeo Nagashima in here, which would be cool to get. Didn't realize that was in here. But yeah, I guess let's look at this. So regular set's 264 cards. There's 12 team checklists. So I guess the Nagashima card would be one of those. Then we got 12 Rising Stars. We got 6 Rivals cards. And there is a Rivals card with Ichiro on it, which also has Ochi on it as well. So that would be cool to get. Then we got Mound Masters and Run Producers, but we haven't seen any of those. And then the jersey card is Hideki Matsui. So that's probably a pretty rare card to get. So not holding my breath to get that one. But these cards do have the name in English, so you'll be able to see at least the name of the player. Trying to take care of the packaging. I kind of want to save the packaging. All right. So looks like we got another home run card, which is cool. We got 2 of those in the last one. I'm not sure what they're for. So this time we got Senichi Kato. There's the back. We got Bill Selby. And, I'm not sure if he was a Major League Ball player. I think I recognize the name. He played 1 year. 1 year in Major League Baseball. Batted .274. 3 home runs, 6 RBI. So I'll have to look him up, learn a little bit more about him. So we got Masumi Shimizu. And these cards don't seem to be stuck together, so that's good. Arihito Muramatsu. We got Masanori Taguchi. Oh, I like the next one. You see the name? Very cool. Happy to get that one. Very happy to get that one. So we got Tuffy Rhodes, Carl Tuffy Rhodes. He played for the Astros and I believe the Cubs. I think at one point in time he had 3 home runs in a game. And then he went over to Japan and he became a star. I think at one point in time he had the record for most home runs in a season. So very happy to get this Tuffy Rhodes. That would probably be one of the bigger cards to get out of this. It looks like he had a pretty nice season. 27 home runs, 97 RBIs, batted .293. This must be right as he came over there. This might be one of his first MPB cards. So very cool to get that one. And we got Akihito Igarashi. And as you can see, we've got an insert on the back. This card looks like it got a little beat up. Oh, okay. So this is a Rising Stars. Okay. I thought it might have been a different insert. So this is a Rising Stars. And this is also a new one. We don't have this one. Makoto Kosaka. So I'll have to look this guy up and see if he was any good. I like the backs of these cards. Really nice. They do have quite a bit of chipping. This is not a chip. That's part of the design. We see it on every card. But this right here, a lot of chipping. These foil cards, if you bought any of those SP sets from 93, 94, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The chipping with foil cards is just horrible. All right, so let me see. Let me find that Tuffy Rhodes and put that on top because that was a nice one to get. All right, so we got 2 more to go. And then I did get one really cool card in the mail this week, but I honestly think that I'm going to save it till next week because it's a really nice card. And I'm not really showing a whole lot of vintage in this rip, and it probably doesn't fit very well, so I'll save it for next week. But it is a vintage hockey card, so have something to show next week. So we got the strikeout card. All right, so this guy, I believe, is a Hall of Famer, if I remember right. This is one of the guys we got last week, Kimiyasu Kudo. And I do believe he's a Hall of Famer. So happy to get another one of those, for sure. We got Yusaku Iriki. That name sounds familiar. And then we got Masumi Kuwata. Now, I think he might be a Hall of Famer, but I don't remember. But again, the name sounds familiar. So maybe he's a Hall of Famer. Very well could be. And we got Atsuya Furuta. Again, sounds familiar. I think we got him before. Looks like a pretty nice player. And we got Yoshiya Takeuchi. I think the next one, I think he might be a Hall of Famer as well. So we got Tsutomu Ito. And I think he might be a Hall of Famer. I don't remember. I'll have to look at the back. Yeah, I think he might be a Hall of Famer. If not, he was a really good player. And then we got Susumu Otomo. I think this was a completely duplicate pack. And then we got the last card, which looks familiar as well. Yeah, in fact, this is the major league ball player right here. So this is Akinori Otsuka. Now I said that it sounded familiar, but I didn't recognize it because in Texas there wasn't an H here. It was Otsuka, Akinori Otsuka, and he was a relief pitcher. I think he was a closer for a year, then lost the job, and then was out of the league. Man, that's a beat up corner though. Look at that. That's almost rounded. Other one I got definitely looks better than that, but this pack looks like it was dropped. Wow. But still cool to get this card since I wasn't prepared with the other one, so I could show you the Hall of Famers and the stuff that we got last time like I normally do. Just kind of jumped into the video. That was my mistake. All right, last pack, and we're over an hour, so mission accomplished. We have a nice long video for you. So hopefully it's been enjoyable. But no Ichiro. Ripped it. That's okay. That's okay. Don't want to mess up that corner. We got one more chance at Ichiro. I wouldn't mind buying some more of these cards, though. So we got Itsuki Asai. We got Shinji Imanaka. We've got Hiroshi Kobayashi. I think we've had this card before. Koichiro Yoshinaga. Koichiro Yoshinaga. Hopefully I'm not butchering these too badly. I'm pretty sure Masaki Saito is also a Hall of Famer. Pretty sure we got that last week too. Masaki Saito. In fact, I think we got him earlier. I think we might have got him in the first pack. Let me see. Masaki Saito. No, we got Kuwata. No, we got Kumiyasu Kudo. Yeah, so I think both of these might be Hall of Famers. All right. Oh, maybe it was this one. No, definitely didn't get him. Still, if it's a Hall of Famer, happy to get another one. So, Kazuhiro Takeda. And doesn't look like we're going to get an Ichiro. Oh, well. And we got Hiroaki Hirota. Ah, there's the other guy. So we got him. We got this guy last time as well. And this was a fantastic player. Not a Hall of Famer, but if I remember right, he led the league in singles maybe one year and doubles another year. So he's got the record. Sorry, he didn't lead the league. He actually set the record for singles in a season, I believe, and then doubles in a season in a different season. So he actually took over from what I understand. He plays for the Oryx Blue Waves, which were the same team that Ichiro played for. And when Ichiro came over to the U.S., this guy, Yoshitomo Tani, basically took over the kind of the star role for the team after Ichiro left and pretty much became a star and had a really nice career. I'm not sure if he'll be in the Hall of Fame, but he does have some records. So definitely a nice card to get. So that's what we got. Looks like we got an insert in each pack. And the only one that was new was this Makoto. That's a bad angle. So we got Makoto Kosaka. So out of 7 packs, we got 2 of these Yoshitomo Tani, 2 of these Akanori Otsuka. We got a Makatomo Kosaka. And we had 1 pack that didn't have an insert, and then we had another individual that didn't have a really long career, but it was also a new card. So the 6 out of 7 had one of these inserts, but they were all the Rising Stars inserts. So I'm not sure how common they are, how often they appeared in packs, but it looked like 6 out of 7, pretty much. Every pack pretty much. Maybe it was a manufacturing mistake that we didn't get it in the one that we didn't get it in. So anyway, that's all I have for you. Apologize for the rambling. But hopefully you enjoyed the video tonight. Hopefully you're a golf fan and like seeing some of those names in that set. And hopefully some of those come back with some ink on them in the near future. So anyway, I appreciate everybody for watching Spine Ticks After Party. Appreciate all your support. Hope everybody has a great night, great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.